You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible.
And I'm grateful that local governments have stepped in and that schools have been shut down. I'm a bit saddened that even in spite of local governments not stepping in sooner and closing down restaurants and nightclubs and bars, that people continue to go out and party. I mean, I was yelling at my little brother.
Oh, my God.
Partying at a nightclub. What is wrong with you? If you bring this drug home to your grandmother, like, I'm going to have to come fight you now. Like, you seriously go to party in a club and bring this home to grandma.
Dr. Benjamin, over the weekend, Luther Campbell posted a video, and I had mistakenly said that was Atlanta. People all in line for strip clubs, like they were not in line in strip clubs in Atlanta. And all the people in Atlanta got all indignant. Oh, that wasn't our city. Like your asses were not out in the public. There's a friend of mine, Doc, who's a nurse, who said she went to a water park, and I'm like, y'all went to a water park? And there was some other people like, well, the chlorine, can kill the coronavirus. And I'm sitting there going, but you're congregating with large groups of people. And you're seeing this. And you're seeing, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. Then, of course, last night, there was some big concert in Nashville, jam-packed, thousands of people. Then, of course, you had the travel issue where you had people who were just in line 6 to 8 hours in Chicago O'Hare, jam-packed, coughing, sneezing all around each other. And I'm going to the Trump people, y'all didn't plan for this as well. Then I'm going to pull up in a second Rex Chapman. He is always posting these very interesting videos. A Florida station posted this video. Let me pull up here, which was just unbelievable. This is from a local station. This is Clearwater Beach, Florida. Y'all, Clearwater Beach, Florida. Watch this.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people. So if you think that the beaches are being impacted here by coronavirus, by COVID-19 and by the new cases that are emerging here in Florida, this is Clearwater Beach here, everybody.
That looks like Clearwater.
And one of the questions that we were asked here earlier was whether or not the beaches were going to be impacted.
Dr. Benjamin, that ain't social distancing.
That is not social distancing. We need to do spring break, but we need to do spring break at home.
No, another friend said her son talked her into going to New Orleans for spring break, and I'm like, sit your ass at home. Well, I was like, are you serious? Because a bunch of people I see in Texas too, men and women, I was like, hey, how y'all doing in your shelter? No, my son talked me going to spring break. I went, do you know there are 104 cases in Louisiana and most of them are in New Orleans?
But the issue you run
Y'all
into,
on Bourbon Street?
The issue you run into is when you keep saying, or we keep hearing it in the media, that it's only affecting older people, or the older people are the only ones who are dying. Younger people don't care. They're like, oh, this is spring break time. These tickets are extra cheap. You could fly to New Orleans for $65. So folks are gone. They're partying. They're St. Patty's Daying it up. Drinks are cheap. They're living their best lives and gathering and congregating because the way they see it is not affecting this age group. You might get the sniffles, but that's what you would get with a regular cold. So they're not seeing it as this extraordinary thing that's really going to hurt them. When it comes to protecting, older people or protecting your fellow man, I don't think that thought process is there. So for states and localities that are initiating these bans, it's largely because younger people don't care. They're not paying attention to the warnings. They're seeing people die, but the people who are dying are their grandparents' age, and they're not taking them on their spring break trips. So they're still going to go get the cheap tickets, have as much fun as they want, and call it a day.
Dr. Gaffney, what's crazy is there are people who are deathly ill who are in their 30s. In fact, to that point, here we go to my iPad. This is some video. I'm trying to find a video of, so this is from Bourbon Street over the weekend. Actually, there was one video somebody posted where the streets were jam-packed. And when they put that video out there, the New Orleans cops responded, then this happened. And they literally came through, cleared folks out on their speakers. You could turn the volume up. You hear them saying, clear the streets. I mean, and it's happening. And here's what I think that Dr. Gaffney has been happening. I think the CDC did not want to order people to self-quarantine. And I think that governors were saying, okay, look, don't congregate. People's hard-headed. Then finally it was kind of like, okay, all right, that number went from 1,000 to 500 to 250 to 50, now it's 10. Let me be real clear. You had a bunch of arrogant-ass preachers who had church service on this weekend, and they shouldn't have. And same thing. You can't say we washed down the church, which means nothing if somebody walks in with coronavirus.
Exactly. We're being so pig-headed about this, it's unreal. And even though the majority or the larger percentages of people who died from the infection in China and other areas that were hit early with this infection, they did have young adults who died from this infection. We do have young adults here in the United States who are critically ill from this infection. There was a 34-year-old healthy physician in China who died from the infection. And they made it clear very early that this young doctor was critically ill and ultimately succumbed to the infection. I've been in touch with emergency medicine doctors and hospitalist physicians in the Seattle and Washington area who are taking care of 30-something-year-olds who have no risk factors that they can identify, who are going into respiratory failure. And by the way, they're already running out of vents there. So it's not like this can't happen in the United States. It's already happening. I'm 38 years old. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I've had chemo. I've had radiation. Even though I don't have cancer at the moment and I'm not currently taking chemotherapy, just my history alone puts me at increased risk. And I can tell you that I've been in a room with 1,000 other young women just like me who carry similar risks, or that I belong to social networks of hundreds of thousands of young cancer patients. I have patients of my own who have autoimmune diseases, who take steroids for various medical conditions, who are just simply diabetic or have kidney disease or liver disease. And all of these people of all ages are at risk. It's not just 60 and above. So we're kidding ourselves by just hanging out, partying, flocking to the beaches, hopping on planes, going wherever, thinking it can't happen to me. Let me tell you, it could happen.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, so a lot of y'all are always asking me about some of the pocket squares that I wear. Now, Robert don't have one on. Nope. Now, I don't particularly like the white pocket squares. I don't like even the silk ones. And so I was reading GQ magazine a number of years ago, and I saw this guy who had this pocket square here, and it looks like a flower. This is called a shibori pocket square. This is how the Japanese manipulate the fabric to create this sort of flower effect. So I'm going to take it out and then place it in my hand so you see what it looks like. And I said, man, this is pretty cool. And so I tracked down, it took me a year to find a company that did it. And so they make these about 47 different colors. And so I love them because, again, as men, we don't have many accessories to wear, so we don't have many options. And so this is really a pretty cool pocket square. Now, what I love about this here is you saw when it's in the pocket, you know, it gives you that flower effect like that. But if I wanted to also, unlike other, because if I flip it and turn it over, it actually gives me a different type of texture. And so therefore it gives me a different look. So there you go. So if you actually want to get one of these shibori pocket squares, we have them in 47 different colors. All you got to do is go to rolandsmartin.com/pocket squares. All right, so first of all, that graphic is way too small. So tomorrow we're going to run it right down here all across the screen. So it's rolandsmartin.com/pocket squares. All you got to do is go to my website and you can actually get this. Now, for those of you who are members of our Bring the Funk fan club, there's a discount for you to get our pocket squares. That's why you also got to be a part of our Bring the Funk fan club. And so that's what we want you to do. And so it's pretty cool. So if you want to jazz your look up, you can do that. In addition, y'all see me with some of the feather pocket squares. My sister, who's a designer, she actually makes these. They're all custom made. So when you also go to the website, you can also order one of the customized feather pocket squares right there at rolandsmartin.com/pocket squares. So please do so. And of course, that goes to support the show. And again, if you're a Bring the Funk fan club member, you get a discount. This is why you should join the fan club. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video. You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it.